Good afternoon and welcome to the October 21st, 2024 meeting of the Orlando City Council. We're going to begin today's proceedings with the invocation and the pledge led today by Commissioner Robert Stewart. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to share a prayer that was created in 1978 called A Prayer for World Peace. Incredibly timely in this time of elections many years later. So will you bow your heads with me, please? We pray for the power to be gentle, the strength to be forgiving, the patience to be understanding, and the endurance to accept the consequences of holding on to what we believe to be right. We put our trust in the power of good to overcome evil and the power of love to overcome hatred. We pray for the vision to see and the faith to believe in a world emancipated from violence, a new world where fear shall no longer lead men or women to commit injustice, nor selfishness make them bring suffering to others. Help us to devote our whole life and thought and energy to the task of making peace, praying always for the inspiration and the power to fulfill the destiny for which we and all men and women were created. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No comment.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll and make a determination of a quorum, please?
Commissioner Gray?
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz?
Here.
Commissioner Stewart?
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan? Here. Interim Commissioner Rose? Here. Commissioner Burns?
Here.
Mayor Dyer?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum with all members present.
Fantastic. Let's take up the minutes from the agenda review and city council meetings of October 7th, 2024. Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed. And so the motion carries. All right, that brings us to the mayor's update. So I think everybody has probably taken stock of the fact that it is election season. And if you turn on your TV, you'll be very aware of that. So the general election, if you have not already voted by mail or early voted, is on Tuesday, November 5th. So I encourage you to make your plan. You're voting one of the three ways I just mentioned. Do some research on the candidates and the issues. I wouldn't necessarily believe everything that's in every TV commercial that you have seen, because I think there's some misleading ads, to say the least. And that's not from one political persuasion or another. I would say that there are some on every spectrum that are misleading. So do as much research as you can, and then make sure you turn out and have your voice heard. One of the important decisions that is before the voters of Orange County is whether to continue the existing half-cent sales tax for support of our public schools. And today we're going to have a quick briefing on the proposed half-cent sales tax extension for Orange County Public Schools. Scott Howitt, my favorite Chief Communications Officer from Orange County Public Schools, is here. I say that jokingly because we've spent I don't know how many hours together doing COVID press conferences, so we got to be pretty good buddies. So different subject than COVID, thank goodness.
That is true. Well, thank you, Mayor, and thank you for having us here today. No misinformation here, just regular information. And thank you. Thank you, commissioners, and good afternoon. I am Scott Howard. I'm the Chief Communications Officer.
Scott, come on up to that mic.
Oh, sure. This board's out a little bit. Let me move a little closer. How's that? My guys tell me never touch the mics. So
That's good.
Thank you for giving me permission. I appreciate
Ours
that.
you can adjust by height.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for having me here today. Did want to talk about the half-cent sales tax. Before I do, I would normally be here in a tie and a coat, as you would have seen me at the at the many press conferences we had, but we had our Pick, Read, and Roll event at the Kia Center this morning, where we recognized our fifth graders who were most improved in reading, and they were celebrated by all their fourth graders that attend the school. And so that celebration was an inspiration, hopefully, to the fourth graders to continue to improve in reading. And we know reading is the most important thing that we are teaching our children today, because it is the basis for learning beyond the third grade. So thank you for that. I do have my Chuck Taylors on today, and I have my casual attire, but I thank you for having me here today. So I will give you a quick overview. I guess this is the advance. Let's see if I can aim it somewhere. Can I advance it this way? There we go. Orange County Public Schools is an A school district. This is the first time we've been rated an A school district since 2019. They didn't rate during the pandemic. Last year, we were just a couple of points short of an A. This year, we achieved an A. So very proud of that, being an A school district. Thank you. So much hard work from our teachers and our staff, our students, our parents go into that. So, and certainly having the pandemic and the learning loss and the dedication that we've had to that. So appreciate that. Graduation rate, just to give you a little history, in 2000 was 49.5%. Today, our graduation rate is 95.5% amongst our traditional schools. So we're very proud of that as well. Thank you. Again, a lot of hard work, a lot from our teachers, from our staff, from our parents to get to that point. And certainly we know that academic achievement is primarily the teacher in the classroom, but it's also the facilities. And as we talk about the half-cent sales tax, we're talking about the addressing of the facilities. The half penny goes towards renovating and reconstructing our schools and making sure that we have high quality facilities here in Orange County. The issue will be on the ballot on November 5th. It is the last item on the ballot, so don't get tired reading through a 4-page ballot. In fact, I did recommend go to the back of the ballot first and then look for this question and then go do the rest. But just know that it's the last item on the ballot. We say in Orange County Public Schools, first in your heart, last on the ballot. So just remember that when you go into the ballot box. Just to give you an idea of where we were before the sales tax, these were some of our schools that have been renovated or replaced. We've been able to eliminate 3,000 portables since 2003 when the sales tax first started being collected. Significant 136 schools replaced or renovated. The last 3 schools are tech colleges. The South Campus will be the last one addressed. East Campus is being finished right now, and West Campus will be dedicated next month. So we're at the end of that 136 list, and we've been able to reduce our portables by 75% using the half-cent sales tax. Here's Florida construction since 2011. That's every school district in Florida. The orange is Orange County. 64 schools renovated, replaced, or built. The next closest is Miami-Dade. That's the impact the half-cent sales tax has had on our community. Just to give you an idea, sales taxes back in 2002 when it passed, the average age of a school was 33 years. Today, the average age of a school in Orange County is 13 years. So here's some old campus, new campus. You have Evans, Oak Ridge, Washington Shores, Lovell, a few there throughout the county. 75 schools will be 25 years or older in the next 10 years. That means they'll be up for a major renovation or replacement of those schools, and I'll say Commissioner Stewart, Edgewater's one of those that will be up for, Junior told me to say that, so he said make sure we say that.
Yes,
but
sir.
we have a number of schools throughout this community that will reach 25 years of age or older, and they'll be up for renovation. So we have several that are under construction and renovation right now that are finishing up on the list, and these schools will be addressed in the coming. coming years, if renewed. Our capital needs for the next 10 years is $8.9 billion, almost $9 billion. The half cent will pay $4 billion of the $8.9 billion in need. And again, this doesn't go towards new construction for growth. This is renovating, replacing, maintaining our existing schools that we have, that we've built since the sales tax came to be. 50% of the sales tax revenue is paid by tourists and non-residents. Those residents that live around us in the surrounding counties, those that visit us from other states or other county or countries, pay for half of that. School construction in Orange County, $2.6 billion since 2010. That investment has yielded $4.1 billion impact to the community in dollars, based on the economists and their assessment. So $1.58 back into the economy for every $1 of the half-cent sales tax. It's 1,850 jobs a year to this community. We have an oversight committee that oversees the construction and the way that we spend our dollars. The Cove Committee's been in place since 1997. These are volunteers that have experts in construction, engineering, finance, and auditing, and none of them do business with Orange County Schools. They oversee the spending of the money, they oversee our construction projects, and they will as long as the sales tax is in effect. School safety and security has been very important since Sandy Hook in 2014, and we've seen multiple tragedies across this country. And so this has been a focal point for the half-cent sales tax. It does not pay for people, and it does not pay for canines, even though there's a canine in here. It does pay for cameras and bollards and hardening of schools, the filming of our glass surrounding the school, all of those things. This is the ballot language, hasn't changed since 2002, except for one minor change. We did add charter schools as required by law. So charter schools are public schools and will receive a proportionate share of the half penny sales tax once it goes into effect in 2026. And as you know, this is the timeline. So local vote by mail began October 2nd. Deadline register to vote is passed. So if not registered, they can't. But early voting started today. So Mayor, thank you for having me here today to remind everyone that early voting does start today, and the general election day is November 5th. And I can't reiterate it enough. It's the last item on the ballot. So first in your heart, last on the ballot. I appreciate the time, Mayor, and thank you very much on behalf of our superintendent, Dr. Maria Vasquez, and our school board. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you for being here. Okay, let me continue with the mayor's update. The last few weeks, really 3 weeks, have been challenging with two different hurricanes, Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. And a week and a half ago, we were preparing for what I thought was going to be storm force winds of Charlie and rain of Ian, and we were very fortunate that Orlando and Central Florida was not impacted as badly as we thought it would be, but there are other areas of the state that really took the brunt of both of those storms. So our hearts and thoughts go out to all of those communities, but I want to thank our residents for continuing to take each of those storms seriously and being prepared. Everybody had plans in place. We ended up doing sandbags at Camping World Stadium and did 30,000 sandbags in a day and a half, and kind of cool. The Weather Channel was there and said it was the best sandbag operation they'd ever seen, so you have that. But in any event, we were very lucky, but storm season is not over, so be prepared just in case we get one more or two more that come through before the end of that season. Okay, things on the agenda. Today's agenda item A5 is an agreement with the City of Winter Park in Orange County to expand the Winter Park CRA. A little bit of their CRA, or their expansion area anyway, is in the City of Orlando. and we're going to partner with them so they can advance affordable housing, sustainability, transportation, safety projects that are identified in their updated plan. And the mayor of Winter Park, Mayor DeCiccio, is here with us, and I would go ahead and stand up. We'd like to applaud the mayor of Winter Park. And we love doing things in collaboration and partnership, Mayor, so we hope that your CRA works out well and that we can be part of helping you with that. Come to the mic. You should know better than that.
Thank you so very much. It is really our pleasure, and this is a massive infrastructure project we're taking on. We're going to replace the stormwater, which is causing massive flooding coming into Winter Park. Water knows no boundaries. We're also going to take the sewer. We're going to go from septic to sewer. We're also going to fix the roads, sidewalks, and then hopefully put in a really nice mixed use with affordable housing and transportation. So we are very excited, and we've tried to do this for so many years. So thank you so very much. You're our neighbors, our partners, and we're so grateful. Thank you.
Well, if Orwin Manor, that name wasn't already taken up, we could rename that little area Orwin Manor, right?
We could.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Nice little history there.
Okay, items A6, A7, J2, C7 through C16 are all funding for our arts and cultural and human services economic development organizations that enhance the quality of life of all our residents, and our not-for-profits do so much great work for our community, things that either the city government, county government can't do or shouldn't do. They're out there doing it, so we're very pleased to be able to fund them and help them with their missions. So I know that there are representatives from some of the organizations, so if you guys would stand, and we would like to recognize you. Okay, with that, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which is a number of items that are acted upon through a single vote of council. We give each of our council members an opportunity to comment on the consent agenda and or update you on important happenings from their districts. We rotate the order that we do that. And today, Commissioner Stewart is first up.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for mentioning those. I was going to share the same. We don't realize how much our nonprofits do for our community. This is our opportunity to help, and we appreciate all of you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A couple quick things I want to share with you. The state of downtown, Mayor did a great job talking about the state of downtown today. We had a workshop about it, and I'm really thrilled about the plans moving forward, and would like to see them move as quickly as we can afford. So that'd be great to do that. Congratulations to do 150 years of Dr. Phillips' legacy. I think we've seen an incredible impact on our community through the vision of one man and his family. And I want us to continue to congratulate them for the work that they do and the impact they have on our community. Last week, as speaking along that same lines, I had an opportunity to talk to the Mayor's Academy over at the new Great Southern Box Food Hall or Food Court, whatever. It was hard enough to remember Great Southern Box, but I'll get that out. But anyway, so I had a chance to talk about the history of the area over there, and so grateful for the Mayor's Academy. We talked about transportation. They got a chance to experience 2 or 3 different types of transportation we have for multimodal in our community, Mayor, and so we had a chance to talk a little bit about that. And they had the biggest question they had was, what about the orange juice stand over at the packing district? I had a chance to remind them that the actual original plans are hanging in each one of the restrooms at the Foxtails. So they get a chance to go to the restroom, look at the original plans for that building, which is really kind of neat. A couple of things coming up. The Taste of College Park, as we mentioned last, has been postponed, and it will be tomorrow night. That's the Rotary College Park Rotary Club event that's been going on. It's been going on for 25 years. College Park Neighborhood Association is hosting their Halloween event this Saturday at 3. Rosemont Neighborhood Center is hosting their trunk and treat on the 29th at 6 p.m. And of course, project season is starting, so all excited about that. I've got a pin on today that reminds us of the This week is Florida City Government Week, and just let me share with you that it's a time for cities across the state to celebrate, showcase, and engage citizens in the work of municipal government. There's nobody who believes in that more than I do, except Commissioner Ortiz. This is a chance for everybody to understand the role of municipal government and why it's important for us to continue to work together to accomplish our goals for the local community. So, and with that, let me share a couple things on the agenda. The City of Winter Park expansion, Mayor, thank you. Thank you, Tom. Thank you for your work on this. I'm glad it's going to work out. And then on B3 today, we are doing the awarding the Lake Fairview Park waterfront improvements. Some of y'all may remember that we had a few weeks ago the original Lake Fairview redo plans. We decided that we would divide those in two and see if we could save a little bit of money, and we did. By doing two separate contracts, saved about $300,000 or $400,000. So this is the waterfront, the docks, the walkway, and boardwalk. So they're independent, but they're going to run simultaneously. So we're excited about that and getting that up to speed. So, and that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sheehan.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. And, here we go. Oh, okay, now it's on. This last weekend was Come Out with Pride, and it was an amazing event. 200 participants and visitors came to downtown Orlando for a wonderful celebration. It was very peaceful, and it was great. And what I just want to say, it meant a lot to me to see all the city staff participating. When I first came here, it was not safe to be out at work, and it's just wonderful to see the city employees participating and loving the parade and being their authentic self. So it was just absolutely great. So thanks for everyone who volunteered and participated. Really appreciate that. And the only complaint that I got was the businesses on Central want that reactivated because they lost a lot of business. So we need to go ahead and activate that entire, I think it's time to just go ahead and activate the entire area around the park. Let's just make it bigger because it's been a great celebration. And we closed down Central, and unfortunately the businesses did not get to enjoy the crowds. But then they didn't get to also have the people coming by. So that's the only criticism I had on it. It was a great day, and I loved the new barricades that provided safety for everyone, but rather than having to put the garbage cans out or garbage trucks out. So it just looked a lot better. So love that. Again, it was a wonderful celebration and a safe day. Also the Orlando Pride won the Shield, the National Women's Soccer League Shield for the points and wins. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to please encourage everyone. I've been a supporter of women's sports when we had the Miracle over at WNBA. I've been a supporter of the Pride since they've started 9 years ago. And we need to support women's sports. So if you don't have season tickets, I encourage you to get season tickets. The team is amazing. And they're fun to watch, and we have some great players. So please support the Pride. We're very fortunate to have the #1 team in the new National Women's Soccer League right here in Orlando, and I'm very proud of them. On the agenda today, the arts and cultural grants are more important now than ever. That funding has been cut from a lot of our arts organizations. We have theaters closing across Central Florida because of this funding cut, which was just a mean-spirited attack on behalf of our governor, which was a shame. But now more than ever, this kind of funding is critically important to our arts organizations and social service organizations. We appreciate all the great work that you do. And also, the Pet Alliance Mobile Vet Unit does great work. That's item A7 for spay, neuter to low-income folks and medical care. That's just a remarkable thing that we need to continue to support. And also today, item J2, Best Foot Forward. I'm really, really delighted to see that we're continuing to do the enforcement, because way too many people are not paying attention at our trails, at our intersections, at our school zones. So I think Best Foot Forward does a great job, and glad to see their funding continue. And that's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to Commissioner Rose.
Good afternoon, everyone. During Mayor Dyer's State of the Downtown, glad to see so many of the ideas coming into fruition. Remember working with David Barilla, the new CRA Executive Director, as we created this plan. But this is a reminder to this community that things take time, and in order for us to perfect the great things that are happening in downtown, we want everyone to work with us and work through us and just keep engaged as we're moving projects forward in downtown. It's been a jam-packed 2 weeks here in District 5. My office has been doing yard cleanups for Hurricane Milton. So if anyone listening needs help, please reach out to my office, 407-246-2005, and we'll get you scheduled. As you know, many of our shut-in, disabled seniors are not able to clean up their yards. I am working on a new venture here in District 5, and I call it the pipeline from certification to career. There's a lot of development that's taking place here in District 5, and what I have started to do is connect the developers with the training providers to provide employment opportunities, such as our City of Orlando Youth Employment Program, Career Source, Orange Tech, and Valencia. This ensures that the money we spend training the individuals in this community, we can hopefully provide employment opportunities in our community. This will include job fairs, but I want to make sure that our residents are connected to the private development that obviously city dollars are not being spent. I want to thank Nick from the community paper for reaching out. I look forward to working together to strengthen 3 of the main streets that are in District 5, City District, the Paramore District, and West Lakes, along with the businesses who are members of the Main Street districts. In the past week, I participated in 2 events, 2 parades. One was at Jones High School homecoming, and I want to give a big congratulations to Jones High School football team for winning the District 4-7A championship. The other parade was Come Out With Pride, which is always filled with love and joy. It's growing. I read an article this weekend that it's the biggest in Southeast, so let's keep the great work up. A special shout out to Evans High School for also making it in the top 10 football teams of the district. Students from District 5 also go to Evans High School. Onto the agenda, item A6, I have a strong commitment to the arts community and have advocated for West Orlando to be just as engaged with the arts, from music to murals to enhanced crosswalks coming soon. I look forward to the great things we will accomplish this fiscal year with United Arts of Central Florida. Commissioner Gray, I'm going to make a remark that has to do with your district, but recently someone left a comment on my page about fire services, so I'm glad to see B4, temporary station down in Sunbridge. I guess my page is the dump page as well. Item C6, I'm glad to continue our partnership with BBIF. They play an integral role in our community. During fiscal year 2023, they assisted 63 City of Orlando businesses, assisted 70 City of Orlando Black-owned businesses, and they provided training to 51 City of Orlando businesses. I'm glad to see item C10, glad to continue our partnership with Greater Orlando Sports Commission. I want to thank Jason Siegel and his team, as well as his board, for all of the great events that they have worked on bringing to the community. They've had 23 events that have taken place so far, and the year is not over as yet. Item C16, I'm thankful for the great work that Steve Hogan is doing and his team at the Camping World. I'm excited for the bowl games that are coming up later on this year. For those that don't know, I like football. Item H4, I'm glad to see OPD apply for funds to be used for Crime Center and Forensic Lab. I want to give a special thank you to Chief Smith for being responsive and delivering results in District 5. We've had a lot of complaints and a lot of issues, but him and his team are doing a great job addressing those issues swiftly, so I just want to publicly say thank you. I want to encourage everyone to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, Orlando District 5, and thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Burns.
All right. Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, council and visitors. First, I'd like to just say thank you to the city staff who assisted with the storm preparation and recovery. Corey, Alan, Howard, Lisa, and Alan from Venues, your teams did a great job. I know they're still out working. So I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you, and thank you for all of those for answering my calls when I call. I know sometimes it may not be convenient, but I do appreciate the follow-up. Also, October the 15th, I also had the opportunity to attend the State of Downtown and hear some of the great plans that we have planned for enhancing our downtown. Also, that same day, I attended the IFU Foundation Open House. And IFU Foundation is an after-school program that includes dance, art, soccer lessons, and volleyball for youth. So proud to have them have their headquarters right in District 6. Also on October the 16th, I participated in the Know Your Ballot Community Forum at the L. Claudia Allen Center with the Supervisor of Elections. It was a lot of good dialogue. One of the things that I heard from the seniors were wanting to learn about transportation options to get to the polls for early voting. So we are working with the L. Claudia Allen Center to assist our seniors with being able to get to the polls for early voting. As the mayor mentioned, today early voting starts. Last day is November 3rd, so we want to encourage everyone to get out and vote early if you can. Also, on the 16th, I had the pleasure of attending Boards and Brews. And this was I always like this event because I think back to my time prior to being on the council. I had the pleasure of serving on the municipal planning board. And so I learned a lot how the city operates, and it was a good springboard for me to serve in this capacity. So I want to encourage you all, if you're interested in serving on the boards, we would love to have you, because the city doesn't move without the assistance of and the guidance of these boards. So again, please consider serving on these boards. Also on October the 17th, I had the opportunity to speak at the Black Board Leadership Institute. It's a leadership cohort under the Orlando Economic Partnership, and it's a 6-month curriculum of board training that positions Black leaders for success on local nonprofit board of directors, creating a pipeline of leaders for organizations to identify and align skills for open board seats. So my executive aide, Heather Bell, is participating in that, and I think she's gaining a lot of great information. Also, I had the opportunity of attending the Jones High School homecoming parade with Commissioner Rose. We had a great time there, and as Commissioner Rose mentioned, well, she didn't mention this, but Jones High did win their homecoming game, so we're excited about that, and we are on our way to state. So this is our year to go to state. So to win state, we've gone, but this is our year to win state. So we're looking forward to that. Just some upcoming events. My satellite office hours every second and fourth Wednesday at the L. Claudia Allen Center. The next one will be this Wednesday, October the 23rd. Also, Friday, October the 25th. Ask you to join me for our 4th annual 4 Celebrity Golf Tournament. And this is at Stony Brook West to raise money for scholarships for students in the district. To date, we've awarded over 25 scholarships for kids in the district who are attending four-year colleges, community college, or even trade schools. So we plan on having a great time there. Also, Smith Center special events, costume party, October the 26th from 5 to 8. Come on out and enjoy. Also, Hankins Park special events, Moving the Park, October the 25th from 6 to 9, and Trunk or Treat, October the 29th from 6 to 8. Also, we'll have a Trunk or Treat celebration at Grand Avenue on October the 24th. On the agenda, Mayor, I just wanted to recognize items A, 6, and 7, and congratulations to all of our community arts programs and our social service organizations who are being recommended for funding. I do see my friend and colleague, Ms. Martha R., the CEO of the Homeless Services Network. Just want to say thank you for all that you do in the community, and your work is appreciated. Also, C 9 through 16, the various funding agreements. Definitely in support. I just want to highlight a few. The Black Business Investment Fund, the Central Florida Foundation for the benefit of the Central Florida Social Entrepreneur Accelerator or Enterprise Accelerator. Also, Go Sports, Hispanic Business Initiatives, as well as the Starter Studio. So again, to support the funding and agreements to those organizations. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. And I also want to echo what the mayor said and thank the staff for their help and preparedness with the storm. I know there's a lot of anxiety with people's own personal families and property, and for them to push that aside and get our city prepared and get our residents prepared is quite an effort. And Mayor, I wish you next time in the pre-storm briefing, please share with folks that commissioners don't have the ability to climb a pole, hit a switch, and re-energize the entire city, right? For some reason, folks thought I could make that happen, but anyway, thank you, I appreciate that. Uncle Milton, as I call it, our hurricane, also canceled our groundbreaking for our government center. We're going to reschedule that probably the end of November, beginning of December. We'll not delay the beginning of it, but we wanted to take that opportunity to thank those that helped get that started. So we'll reschedule that and get everybody an invitation. On the 16th, as Commissioner Burns said, I attended the Boards and Brew. I was there for the brew. He was there for the boards. But it's a great event, and encourage everybody. It's so important for our volunteer boards and what they do for our city to help vet opportunities and get people involved. So please take a look at that. Thanks to Christina Redmond and her team for organizing that. And then Thursday night, I had the opportunity to attend the 150-year celebration of the Dr. Phillips legacy with Dr. Phillips' birth and what they've done. And as I was leaving, it just thought back and reflected. They had mentioned over the term $250 million in grants Dr. Phillips has given to this community. And just to think where we would be in this community without Dr. Phillips. They've done so much, that organization. So thanks to them. On the agenda quickly, I mentioned in agenda review, item C2, one of the HPB items, 10193. I'm going to pass on that one. Not a big fan of the applicant on that one. And then on item C3, I have a conflict. That's Municipal Planning Board, item 10040. I have a conflict of business association there, so I filed that paperwork with the clerk. So, Mayor, that's all I've got.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Ortiz.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to echo the words of the Mayor and Commissioner in reference to thanking the staff. The storm during the hurricane, you guys did an excellent job. I mean, I had the chance to spend some time with you guys at the EOC, and what a group of people dedicated to our community, responding very quick. So is OUC, the sustainable and reliable one. They did a great job. I think by the third day, they had everything taken care of. That's what a real community does for each other, and so that's the kind of work and the kind of people we like to work with. So, thank you so much. Let me start with, I had the chance on October 16th to attend a Greater Orlando Aviation Board meeting in my district. That was something else. Great meeting, what they're doing, and Mayor, you're part of that board. What you guys are doing at the airport, what's being done in the Central Florida region, the expansions for the betterment of our community is incredible. So for those of you guys that are interested, I think if you get a chance, it'll be nice to attend one of these meetings. They're incredible. We also had a shelter groundbreaking of a new hangar over there, and Atlantic ribbon cutting also during that day. I want to thank Ms. Julie Jarrett, which is lady pretty much in charge, the executive airport. She did a great job, and I also want to thank the president of the board team. Let me see if I pronounce this right. Wishire. Did I say that right, Mayor? Wishire? Is that the name of the team? Wishire?
Yeah, close.
Okay. Just making sure that my accent didn't take over. And CEO Kevin Tebow, who has been a great executive officer at the airport. It's my understanding we're losing him. So, on October 17th, we had the honor and the privilege of having the National Entrepreneur Center at the Englewood Community Center, led by the CEO of Belinda Kirkgard Ortiz, which is here with us. So let's please give her a huge round of applause. She's a hardworking person. And I told you I was going to put you on the spot. So she did a great job. Presentation was about certification. It was a certification workshop for entrepreneurs, and it was very well attended, I may say. So I'm looking forward to more of those because it's really needed in our community. Number 3, the parade. Oh my God, I have to say, it's the first time I attend the Come Out with Pride parade, and I was very impressed. I've never seen a parade so well attended. Commissioner, it was something else, wasn't it? So she was surprised to see me there too. So she told me, she told my daughter, I said, what did you do to bring him over? I said, nothing, it's just we're so busy. But it was great. Well attended. It was a lot of fun. Our staff, they did a great job also. So congratulations, Commissioner, to you and to everybody who put the parade together. That was good to see. Join us for a fun-filled evening this Friday, October 25th at 5:30 p.m. for the District 2 Fall Festival at the Englewood Neighborhood Center. Enjoy a great night out with bounce houses, pumpkin painting, hay rides, and much more. Festival is free for the community, but entry to the haunted house is about $8 per person, but you will enjoy every dollar. We hope to see you there. We also have next week our Government Academy classes in Spanish this time. Our next session, held in English, will run from March 4th, 2025 to June 3rd. You can register starting today by visiting Orlando Government Academy, orlando.gov/District 2 Academy. We need to change that because it's not just for District 2, it's for everybody in the state. Anyhow, that's one more item, item D1. We're approving, we have an employment agreement for Russell Schultz, lead student advocate for District 2. So congratulations. And that's all I have, Mayor.
You got a motion, Commissioner?
Oh, I'm sorry. Make a,
Approve the agenda.
go approve the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda.
Okay,
sorry.
motion to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Rose. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion carries. We're going to take a 1-minute little short break, and I bet there's a bunch of people that were just here for the consent agenda that would probably like to make their way out to the front.
You did. Getting old.
Okay. Okay, we don't have any ancillary meetings today, so that will bring us to new business number 1, which is a resolution to opt out of the middle income affordable housing exemption program offered by the Live Local Act. The Live Local Act provides that certain developments will be eligible for a 75 to 100% ad valorem tax exemption depending on the level of rent charged by the owner for the units. The city may opt out of this tax exemption with a 2/3 vote of the governing board if Orange County has an adequate supply of housing units at the prescribed rent level, in this case 80 to 120% of area median income. The resolution will not impact the benefits received by projects that provide affordable rental housing at or below the 80% of area median income rate. All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. I do have one request from the public to speak. John Michael Fernandez.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. John Michael Fernandez, representing the Apartment Association of Greater Orlando, 340 North Maitland Avenue, 32751. The Apartment Association is in opposition to this resolution simply because we support affordable and attainable housing. According to the Florida Apartment Association research, BuildFlorida2030.com, Orange County is projected to have a housing supply gap over 57,000 units by 2030, and that's across all income levels. For those earning $75,000 or less, that projected gap is going to be 13,227 units by 2030. So this decision today will have great impacts. It's important to keep this exemption available to increase the supply of housing and ensuring individuals that are earning higher incomes are not scooping up apartment units meant for those at lower incomes, 80% or below. And that's what the intent of this property tax exemption was. And so I hope that you vote no and that you support affordable and attainable housing in the city of Orlando. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. That's the only request that we had to speak. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, item number 2, we are just going to be voting to set the schedule to hear the second reading of an ordinance. So the first advertised public hearing of ordinance number 2024-42 related to mobile vending services took place on October 7th, 2024 during our regularly scheduled city council meeting. This type of ordinance requires 2 advertised public hearings and at least one of them being held after 5 o'clock unless we vote by a supermajority to hold the second public hearing at our normal city council meeting time. Staff recommends that we hold the second public hearing on this ordinance during our next regularly scheduled city council meeting that begins at 2 o'clock on November 11th, 2024. Do I hear such a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Burns, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion carries. Okay, let's go on to hearings ordinances on second reading. Number 1, Madam Clerk, would you read the ordinance, please? Title of
Ordinance
the
number 2024-45, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, annexing to the corporate limits of the city certain land generally located south of Colonial Drive, west of State Road 520, east of Sunbridge, and north of the Osceola County line, and comprised of 52,453.5 acres of land, more or less, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Okay, this is the Dallas Boulevard or Deseret annexation ordinance for second read, and staff has asked to have additional time to work on the annexation agreement before moving forward with the annexation, so they are requesting that we continue this item to the November 4th City Council meeting. I'm going to open the hearing. Is there a motion to continue to November 4th? Motion by Commissioner Rose, second by Commissioner Burns. Okay, I have a slew of requests to speak, and procedurally, the motion before us is to continue.
This is just going to go. You should have made the motion.
Oh, I think you'll let this one go for now, it's just to continue. Procedurally, it is appropriate to speak only to the motion that has been made, which is the motion to continue. However, if you're a little slippery, you can probably get around that very quickly by saying, I would like to support the motion to continue, and here's why, or I don't support the motion to continue, or here's why. Or you alternatively could come back on November 4th and testify when we're actually going to hear that, but it will be at your option. You would be looked upon very favorably if you chose to come back on the 4th. Okay, I'll read a few here, and then if you'll kind of come get in the queue. And actually, Andrew, I see that you're third down, but I'm going to move you right to the top since you come every week now. Andrew Mai.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Andrew Mai, Assistant County Attorney for Orange County, Florida. We support the motion to continue to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. Nelson Betancourt, Pam Seibel, Chuck O'Neill.
Nelson Betancourt, 5350 East Scaly Street, Orlando, Florida, 32812. Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. It is okay to make a statement, correct? Not just say you're in support or not in support?
It is.
Thank you. All right. As a resident of both the City of Orlando and incorporated Orange County, I am strongly opposed to the annexation of the 52,000 plus acres of land to the City of Orlando. It is clever, but not very wise. There is a saying, wherever the world is going in the opposite direction. It is paradoxical, but it is true. Food, both its availability and affordability, will become Central Florida's top concern, even above the environment. But destroying this land to build rooftops intensifies urban sprawl, raises the cost to taxpayers, will degrade the quality of our environment, will make our area economically weaker, and destroy a source of regenerative and small-sized farms that could feed local future generations. Orange County is bringing order to the issue of affordable housing, transportation, and environmental care through its Vision 2050. The City of Orlando should be working with Orange County instead of sabotaging it by its contemptuous and disdainful disrespect of both its citizens and county government. I will end with this poem in prayer I wrote yesterday. The killing of the land is the ultimate sin of capitalism, of making nothing of creation for the sake of profit. The killing of the land is a true crime of capitalism, of stealing the very ground of culture from indigenous people. The killing of the land is the unconscious hate of authority against freedom fighters, water warriors, family farms, and land protectors. The killing of the land by poison, pollution, pesticides, by erosion of the soil, is the blindness that is defacing the very existence of God. Thank you, and amen.
I'm going to change the order up real quick. Commissioner Bonilla, I didn't see you out there, but I see your card was at the bottom of the pile, so I'm lifting you up today.
Well, thank you for lifting me up today. I didn't feel lifted up the other day when you guys were speaking about us. I have to say, building relationships is really important. Making sure that we could work together is important. And, I've heard things spoken about each of you, over the years, and I've never, condoned what they were saying. I always spoke highly of all of you. You are my colleagues. I just want to be able to work with you. And when I heard all of the words that you were speaking about us the other day, it was very hurtful. It was not pleasant at all to hear any of that. And, it just, it wasn't nice at all. And I would like to say that just a couple of things, that the three top economic drivers of Orange County is government, agriculture, and tourism. And our largest contributor to our agricultural industry is the ranch. And a lot of the cattlemen out there depend on this ranch being there. We want them to stay. We want them to keep their business here. We want to be able to work with them because we depend on it. And I'll tell you, I was a Mormon from the age of 12 to 16. And every single year in the summer, we would go out camping and learn how to survive in the wilderness. I would say I did not learn about being an environmentalist from that experience. We were learning how to survive because the church believed that when the rapture happened, we would still be left behind. And so we needed to learn how to survive those times, which is why we have, different food storages out there. We have the ranches and everything like that, so that when it happens, the members of the church are able to survive. Before my time is out here, though, I do want to let you know about a couple of things. The owner of Tavistock was indicted for insider trading. The entity of the Church of Latter-day Saints had paid $5 million in fines for tax evasion. And the church is currently in a case for not filing tithings properly. And Kelly Cohen from Southern Strategies on her bio has said that she helped finance multiple elected officials' campaigns. So I know that you don't like the word corruption being thrown around, but when people look at these facts, that is something that comes to mind. So I really do ask you to let the people vote and respect the democratic process. And, you know, we at the county do a lot for the city. We give hundreds of millions of dollars, including for affordable housing. We try to work with you, and I just ask for the same respect back. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, next up will be Pamela Seibel, Chuck O'Neill, Julie Rathmel. Is Pamela Seibel here? Chuck O'Neill? Chuck, I don't see Chuck. Julie Rathmel? Marjorie Holt? Sunshine? Val Mobley? And then Barbara Lanning, and then Robert Stein.
Wet. It rained on us. Val Mobley, 226 West King Street, Orlando, 32804. The reason that all those names you just called were not here is because they heard that this was put off.
It is.
And so, okay. And putting it off is a good thing, but it needs to be put off till after the election, not the day before, for y'all to vote on it, because the people need to have a right to say, to have a say in this. The citizens of Orlando. We gave a pledge a while ago, and it ended with, "and justice for all." Well, justice will not be served if all the who are voting now and voting in the next 2 weeks up until the 5th vote for the Orange County Charter amendments. You'll be taking their vote away from them. And that's just so wrong on so many levels. So I would ask that, I support putting this off. I support putting it off until after the vote.
Thank you. I'm not going to engage with each one of these, but we happen to believe over here that Orange County is attempting to usurp the local control that the city has, and if Orange County had put on something on the ballot that said there could be no urban development in Orange County, it would pass by more than giving them the veto to do away with annexations that the property owners would like to do on their own. So we don't think that will stand up in court anyways, but we respect the ability or the opportunity for people to vote on it, but we don't think that to a property owner you can't annex into the jurisdiction that would be the most appropriate place for you to develop. Okay, Barbara Lanning. Barbara Lanning. Connor.
My name is Liz Connor, and I live at 2744 South Tanner Road, Orlando, Florida, 32820. As a resident of Orange County and Orlando for over 32 years, I'm here to speak again against the annexation of over 42,000 acres. Last time, many of my fellow neighbors and residents and I came to address this city, and we were not addressed with respect. Leaders were not demonstrating integrity or professionalism. Instead, we were called names. We were laughed at, we were ignored, we were disrespected, and we received hate for advocating for what we believe in, which is sad and disheartening to experience and see in the city beautiful. A place that's supposed to be home for all and safe for its citizens.
Last time you told us who we were, and I'm here to tell you that I am none of those things. I'm a passionate citizen. I'm a resident who has spoken and acted with nothing but integrity and professionalism. I'm an educator. I'm an advocate for whose voice can't be heard, including the environment and animals. I am someone who cares deeply about others in the community. I'm a volunteer. I'm an active voter. I'm someone who believes and will not stop fighting for what is responsible. And I believe in reasonable growth. Emphasis on reasonable and respectful growth. By voting in favor of the annexation, you're destroying the St. Johns River Basin, doing nothing to address the $22 billion deficit hanging over our heads, and saddling taxpayers with the cost. Development does not pay for itself. It delays the issue, staring in the face of citizens. Our city and state has done this for far too long. We've discounted and expensed at the expense of the people, communities, and wildlife. We need our officials to listen to our citizens and to see each side of the issue instead of making an assumption and being backed by big money and special interests. It is critical that our mayors and commissioners stand firm in their commitment to serve the will of the people, and in a time where pressure of big money and special interests loom large, it is critical that our local leaders remember their primary duty to represent the will of the needs of the people and the constituents. I also want to say, for anybody who's listening and watching, I encourage you to vote yes on 4, 8, 9, and 10 county charter amendments. Thank you.
Okay, Millie Dawson. Amir Roy. Christopher Hurdle. Rachel Hildebrand. Gordon Spears. Okay, hold on, Gordon. Rachel's.
I'm here.
Okay, it says she's making a live comment. Are you online?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Perfect. Okay, hi, my name's Rachel Hildebrand, and I live at 4651 Chuliota Road, Orlando, Florida. I'm here today to voice my opposition to the annexation request and ask the city to take this time to clearly explain the plans and supposed benefits of this unnecessary and unwanted growth, especially when it directly contradicts your current growth management plans, which emphasize compact and sustainable growth. I was going to save my longer speech until the 4th, but Emily and others that have spoke before me made me change my mind. So last time, when you spoke with us, you were very concerned about the suggestion of corruption. And I'm not saying that this is corrupt or that y'all are corrupted, but you have to see why many of us would raise an eyebrow. It's a lot of land, it's moving fast, and a lot of dots connect. Plus, news about similar land use changes around the state have everyone on edge. But based on the events, how these events have unfolded, this annexation appears to be another way to bypass the legislative process and keep the long-standing buddy system well-fed and happy. Consider these events. The Sunbridge annexation and land battles began earlier this year. The city started strategizing to anticipate future challenges. CBRE began selling annex properties in that area, and we all know who manages the Orlando office. The last-minute District 5 Commissioner candidate entered the race and was immediately endorsed and financially supported by at least 3 people sitting up there today. Seems odd, especially when their political views differ from other endorsements. Could it be because District 5 will back into City District 1 if the annexation passes, conveniently paving the way for future annexations from the east? This District 5 candidate claims to support the rural boundary but opposes annexation. I wonder why the distinction. Meanwhile, the county successfully pushed the rural boundary and the annexation charter amendments on the ballot, and here we are today, and here we will be on 11/4 to help fight this irresponsible annexation. And I'm sure if it does pass, CBRE will be the first one to sell it off. More recently, updates about land lease uses for fire station toll road plans have many of us giving this another side eye. I bring up these details because I believe this annexation is more about just the plan to grow the city. Please consider the long-term impacts of this decision, uphold responsible planning principles, and reject this voluntary annexation. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you take this time to stand with the people and not the special interests pushing this annexation. Have a good one.
Gordon Spears, Matthew Silverman, Kip Ricken.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, city councilors. I have a lot to say about the annexation, but I understand that we're here to talk about the continuance of the annexation issue. And I oppose it exactly because the annexation, the continuance would put the date of the city council on November 4th, immediately before the election, where the county charter amendments will be voted on by the citizens of you today, or that was before you, actually before you today and on the November 4th. I have a lot more to say about the annexation, but I understand you only want to hear about the continuance. So I oppose the continuance for that reason. I would support the continuance if it were continued to a date on the other side of the election, where the will of the Orange County voters is more clear after the election. That's when the city council should be considering the annexation, not prior to the date at which our citizens have a chance to vote on this important item. So that's all I have to say about this. You'll hear more from me at the next meeting regarding the annexation itself. Thank you.
Matthew Silverman.
Hello, Matthew Silverman, 2836 Montmart Drive. At the last meeting, we saw many good people take time to come here and speak out against annexation. This included a rancher whose family has been here for generations, someone who clearly stated this is not in the best interest of the people of Orlando or Central Florida. But those proposing this annexation are not simple ranchers who own a moderately sized piece of land. These are men in suits who speak through a lawyer, men who are owned by an entity that controls most land in Florida, almost 700,000 acres of land. The council stated that the people of Orange County, which includes Orlando citizens, whined to get the rural boundary amendment on the ballot. But let's look at the facts. The people of Orange County voted and passed a law that made Split Oak a conservation easement in perpetuity. Then a certain group whined to the heads of the FWC because they want to build a toll road through Split Oak. Magically, and to the surprise of many people who work for the FWC, they released that easement. The group who cried to have this happen disregarded the will of the people. They will sever conservation land and strip it to build that road. Does this sound like a good steward of the land or of the environment? Does this sound like a group of people who have everyone's interest at heart? They stated they offered no plans besides wanting to be part of Orlando, and this was seen as a good enough explanation to vote yes. Someone stated it's their property and they can do what they want with it. But what injustices have been done throughout history using the same line of logic? Your duty is to protect the general welfare. A failure to do so would be a dereliction of that duty. Hurricanes are increasing in intensity and level of destruction. We need only to look at the horrors the people of Asheville are still experiencing to see what flooding from hurricanes can do. We were lucky with this last hurricane. We have already lost too much undeveloped land to mitigate flooding as it is. Building a second Orlando, far from the center of our city, on a floodplain with a dangerously depleted aquifer would be a foolish and callous thing to do. A public official in their last term has no incentive to help the people other than goodwill. But we are only human. Many choose to strike it big to make themselves comfortable after their term ends. But please consider your legacy. Will you be someone who protected the public from the specter of corporatocracy, or will you fold, damning the people of Central Florida for generations to come? Who do you want your children and grandchildren to see when they look at you? No citizens besides the ones behind the proposal have come to speak in favor of this annexation, only those adamantly against it. In the words of Theodore Roosevelt, we believe that unless representative government does absolutely represent the people, it is not representative government at all. We do not have the resources to absorb Deseret Ranch. We are already at capacity for fire and police services. Adding a second location populated by thousands is reckless. The land should be kept rural and safeguard Central Florida from catastrophic flooding which is already worsening due to rapid urbanization and sprawl. You will save lives by voting this down. What is a life worth to you? Do what is right and vote against this annexation. I'm sorry this is more relevant when you were voting today, but it got switched around. Thank you so much.
Kip Rickton.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. Kip Ricken, 1242 Nebraska Street. Just wanted to thank you all for what you do as a city council. This is really cool. This is my first time coming here. Also, thank you for keeping Milton from being another Charlie. Yeah, thank you for welcoming me up here to speak. So I support the motion to continue also after the upcoming election, so we can focus on our civic duties. I'm very passionate about voting, and I like to spread the word. And you've already iterated today that that's very important to you. So I do stand here today, come here today in opposition to the annexation of the over 52,000 acres in East Orange County. I believe that the people of Orlando need to be heard. A further strain on emergency services, an exhausted aquifer, the reckless growth management that this represents, these are just some of the many reasons that supporting the annexation is a damaging choice for Orlando. This is short-term financial gain for long-term quality of life loss, and it is done against the will of the citizens of Orlando. This is not how a democratic decision, one without external influences, works. So Mayor, Commissioners, you have the opportunity to be remembered for making the right choice. So I implore you to vote when the time comes in opposition to the annexation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Kelly Semrad, Eric Magyar, Lee Perry.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Thank you so much for the service that you do for our community. My name is Dr. Kelly Semrad. I reside at 3111 Amalfi Drive, Orlando, Florida, 32820. And I'd like to begin with, if you would like your legacy to be ignoring 500,000 votes. Because on November 4th, it is anticipated that that is how many voters will have voted to first establish a rural boundary, and second, to protect the laws of the land or the zoning within that boundary. Mayor, I implore you to actually read the charter amendment, because it does not say that you cannot annex. Instead, it says, sure, go ahead and annex, but the laws of the land will transfer with it, meaning that the county would still have to provide a supermajority vote in order to approve intensity and density increases in the St. Johns River Basin. We're all voting on it right now. Today, 70,000 people have already voted. I submitted this to the Charter Review Commission last summer, July 2023. Legislators lobbied a senator who does not live here to amend state law. Then they tried to tamper with the due date at the supervisor of elections. Then they sued the county to try to block the citizens from being able to vote on it. And then, when none of it worked, they came to you. They're using you. They're playing you. You are not term limited, but rest assured, when we start talking about an elected board ignoring 500,000 voters, you will face term limits. Only it'll be at the polls, by the people that you ignored. And the process of which you are facilitating right now allows special interests to influence our local democratic process, which allows all of us, Orange County, which includes you and all your citizens, to amend our county constitution to reflect our growing needs. Do you want your legacy to be ignoring 500,000 voters? Do you want your legacy to be the facilitation of special interests influencing our local democratic process? Because that's on you. This is a shame. We shouldn't be here. Move this till after the election. Maybe the people will say, this is a great idea. They don't want protection from annexation. Maybe they will say they don't want a rural boundary. And then you have let the people speak. That is what this is about. That is what this is about, democracy. It's your fundamental job to protect it. Please do what's right and allow the people to vote. Thank you.
Eric Magyar.
All right, so hello, my name is Eric Magyar, and I urge you guys to vote no on the annexation of more than 52,000 acres in East Orlando and to establish an urban development boundary. Annexing this land would encourage urban sprawl and development over the environmentally sensitive areas and lead to habitat loss and destruction. Instead of building out, we should build up and encourage smart development for the future. This sprawl and development would strain our city's resources, contributing to increased traffic congestion, higher infrastructure costs, and a greater demand for public services. The consequences of this unchecked growth would be felt across Orlando, diminishing your quality of life and increasing the city's carbon footprint. As we look to the future, we must prioritize sustainable growth that protects both our natural environment and our community's long-term well-being. Moreover, East Orlando is home to a variety of species and ecosystems that play a critical role in maintaining biodiversity and ecological balance. By preserving these areas and promoting responsible development, we can safeguard Orlando's unique natural heritage for future generations. I strongly encourage the council to consider these impacts and to vote in favor of a more sustainable approach to city growth. Also, one more thing. As I was on the Brightline this morning coming into Orlando, I saw that with my own eyes how beautiful and untouched by development the land east of Orlando is. So let's keep it that way.
Lee Perry, and then Janet Brewer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Lee Perry. I'm a climate activist. I reside in 32810. And I'm definitely in support of postponing this really big decision, but I would prefer to see it after the election so that we have a chance to participate in the democratic process, have our voices be heard. You know, it's really hard to organize these press conferences and create email templates and social media infographics and just get the community to really understand what's happening, let alone take the day off of work, come here, speak, pour our hearts out, and literally hear you all obfuscate around the main points that people came here in the last hearing to say. I mean, we had the president of the firefighters union saying that they're already subsidizing emergency services from the county because the city currently cannot handle the load of emergency calls, and that we are subsidizing with our tax dollars in hand emergency services that you guys lack with your 70,000 acre coverage now. We have citizens in College Park that I've spoke to that have extreme flooding concerns, that have said that they've lost much of their livelihood and their businesses, and they've had to completely take out a second mortgage in order to, fix their homes from flooding concerns right now. And yet, during the last hearing, we heard that the city is doing so great, the whole county should be in the city. And that's just not the case. We have a lot of problems and needs in the urban core, and sucking resources to subsidize sprawl when it costs $25 million per mile for every brand new road that we build. And in return, we're raising stormwater rates right now on existing citizens. OUC is trying to attack net metering and expand rate hikes during peak utility use right now. And it just feels very much like we're getting screwed while the developers are obfuscating around crucial environmental protections that the county would hold their feet to the fire and make them pay. And in return, this annexation is frankly a loophole in order for them to make massive money off of our tax dollars. I mean, I run the Save Split Oak Forest campaign. That is 30 years of our tax dollars going into conserving that land, only for us to give it up for a toll road to just subsidize more sprawl. And we're tired of getting screwed. We're tired of showing up, doing these press conferences, voting, and then literally being ignored by elected officials. And so, what we really want to see is a chance to vote on November 5th and then have a hearing, and let's all come to the table. You were invited to come to the Charter Review Commission to listen to the experts and the lawyers talk about these amendments, but the city of Orlando didn't come. So, the citizens are the ones driving this. Please listen to us and postpone this vote until after the November 5th election. Thank you.
Janet Brewer.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners, visitors. I also oppose this vote until after the election. I don't understand what the feelings are if you all feel this is such the good way to go, then perhaps you'll get your vote and have it on November 6th. But the only right thing to do is let the people vote. I don't understand. I wasn't able to be at the first meeting. I was out of state. And from what I've heard, I'm happy I wasn't here. It sounded like it was a very disrespectful meeting. And I have had a business in Orlando for 38 years. I had a good business in Orlando. I supported many of you. I remember, Patty, when you were running for commissioner and you would come around and visit the businesses, and I supported you. And I supported and have respected our city mayor and our commissioners. But right now, I'm very disappointed that you don't think the people have a right to vote for what they feel is right, for what I feel is right. I've lived in rural Christmas, and I'm sorry I didn't give my address, 4707 Lazy H Lane, Christmas 32709. I've lived on my property for 45, 48 years. I'm not someone that just showed up and wants things to change. I once rode from Miami. I thought, I'll drive home on US 1. Let me ride by the water and see the beautiful scenery. How many times did you have to stop every few feet at a red light in a different little city, a different community? That's what's going to happen to our area. I feel like we're becoming, what do you want, another Los Angeles, or I don't understand it. Who's it going to benefit? I oppose this. I feel like a ping pong. We're voting today. No, we're not voting today. We'll vote next week. Then we'll come back again after November 5th. I don't understand why you keep making the changes. And again, I'm opposed against this until after November 5th. Thank you.
Okay, that's all the speaking requests that we have, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, Madam Clerk, number 2, ordinance 2446.
Ordinance number 2024-46, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, annexing to the corporate limits of the city certain land generally located south of Lee Road, east of North Orange Blossom Trail, west of Edgewater Drive, and north of Lake Fairview, and comprised of 19.4 acres of land, more or less, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Ortiz. I have no request to speak on this. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3.
Ordinance number 2024-47, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, annexing to the corporate limits of the city certain land generally located at the northeast corner of Boggy Creek Road and New Hope Road, south of Lake Nona Boulevard, and north of the Osceola County line, and comprised of 0.58 acres of land, more or less, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Move to adopt. Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Ortiz. I don't have any requests to speak on this matter. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 4.
Ordinance number 2024-48, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the Orlando Health Plan Development Zoning Ordinance to add approximately 2.3 acres of land to the Plan Development Zoning District, such land being generally located north of Miller Street, south of Columbia Street, west of South Orange Avenue, and east of South Division Avenue, providing a conforming legal description, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, permit disclaimer, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. I don't have any requests to speak. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed. And the motion carries. Number 5.
Ordinance number 2024-49, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's adopted growth management plan to update by updating figure CI-14 to be entitled City of Orlando 2024-2029 Capital Improvements Element Capital Improvement Fund Schedule and amending policy 2.2.30 in the Capital Improvements Element, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Burns, second by Commissioner Stewart. I have no requests to speak. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And number 6.
Ordinance number 2024-50, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida relating to backyard chickens and chicken coops as an accessory structure, amending Chapter 58, Part 5A Land Development Code entitled General Requirements, providing for severability, codification, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. I have no one to speak on backyard chickens or chicken coops. Discussion, hearing none. In favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and so the motion carries. Right, that's the agended business for today. Ed, could you get us ready for general appearance, please?